Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Unwokeable Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Owsley, and I am joined by Senator Jake Merrick, who just came fresh from a GOP conservative senator press conference talking about um, the need to ban child maiming in Oklahoma. I can't believe we're having to have this conversation, but it should have been fait accompli a few years ago. But here we are. So he's fighting the good fight. Senator Merrick, thank you for being here. And what can you tell us about this?
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. Big fan of your show and all your content. So appreciate
Thanks.
what you're doing. Man, like you said, we just left first day of special session. Of course, this special session is called to address specifically the distribution of ARPA funds
Hmm.
that we're receiving from the big government, from the federal government. And so let's stop right there. What are we doing? What are
Yeah.
we doing to increase the national debt? All
Oh,
it get costs. Any reason for it. It doesn't justify it in my book. Can you hear me okay?
yeah. Sorry, you cut out
Okay.
for just a second. But
All
so
right.
you said it doesn't justify it. Obviously, yes.
Right.
Um,
As a red state, as a conservative state, that where most people are running on they oppose big government, what are we doing? We're growing government. And, for some reason, we keep electing the same people that keep on growing government.
right.
And that is something that's very confusing to me. That's one of the reasons I ran for office is I saw this problem that had been a pattern. And I said, hey, I'm stepping in to make a difference. And believe we did. We were able to do a lot of good things, at least speaking to issues. Didn't get
Hmm.
to do a lot because you get shut down if you're not on the A team,
Yeah.
something I found out pretty quickly. Uh, so that's the call of this special session is to, talk about the distribution of ARPA funds. I'll be voting no on all of these bills we'll be talking about. It doesn't really matter to me the cause, the reason. We're still taking billions of dollars from the federal government, and I ran on reducing the size of government.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna fulfill that promise up to the end, and I'll be voting no on all these ARPA funds. One of these obviously deals with money that's given to OU,
Hmm.
and I appreciate you calling attention to this. I think that it's brought a lot of attention to this. Even it's captured the attention of the legislators, and so
Oh, good. Well, that was the goal. That was the goal. I hope
yeah,
there's some movement here to get to. So, but I do have a question. Well, I watched your video. I just tweeted your video. Thank you for doing that. That you did on Facebook. Is there talk from the conservative senator caucus, which you are a part of, obviously,
right.
um, uh, about criminalizing this? Is this the goal?
There is agreement in the caucus in the Senate that we all want to see it ended in Oklahoma.
Okay. Okay.
The question is timing,
Okay.
which is a big question to me as to why. Why would we talk about delaying this decision for a day? If we can
Right.
end it today, why are we going to talk about addressing it at some point in the future? And I've only been up here a couple of years, but I've been up here long enough to know that there's often a lot of really good talk and
Yeah.
a lot of good smile and agreement. Oh no, I agree with you on that, and then nothing's done on it. And so we're going to make sure that we put enough pressure to say, hey, no, we are going to do something on this. Senator Hamilton had a bill. We've had
Yes, he
multiple
did.
bills that have been proposed and shut down that could have dealt with this 2 years ago.
Yes.
But why were they not passed? Well, I don't know. Maybe now we're looking at it because it's an election year. There's a lot of factors that go into why certain bills are looked at certain times. We should have dealt with the issue of boys competing in women's sports,
Yes.
but we delayed it for a year. Why?
Well,
Well,
hey, just 1 second, Senator. While you're here, this may affect you. You may need to talk to uh, your colleagues. Arkansas right now, a federal appeals court overturns Arkansas's law banning transgender youth medical care. So I'm not sure what that means, but they're saying it's happening right now. A federal law appeals court overturns Arkansas law. Oh, I know what that is. Well, so this might present a problem. Is that they're trying to criminalize it, and I think I had heard that earlier. I thought it was the other way around, but is the and I want to be very clear here because I'm very concerned that we're trying to kick the can down the road
Yeah.
6 months. The way the polls are sitting right now, there could be a Democratic governor
Right.
at that point. And I don't understand why the leadership would want to do that, other than, there's some profit to come off of this somewhere for somebody in Oklahoma. Um, and or they just don't want to see the heat. But it seems to me that Republicans in Oklahoma should be taking heat for not having done this, like you had said, right? For not having done this back in February of 2021.
Right.
And so I really want to see a criminalization of this. And although
Absolutely.
the Eighth Circuit has knocked it back, that's not the Tenth Circuit, right? That's not Oklahoma's jurisdiction, and we can bring that up. And I think, quite frankly, we need to if it's going to be challenged legally. So let me ask you this: have you heard anything from the governor? Is he looking at expanding this session? Is he looking at an executive order? Have you heard anything on that?
I know that there were some senators that had a meeting with him. The report coming from that meeting was that it was a positive meeting, that the governor seems to be in favor of taking action to address this. So, we have our fingers crossed that hopefully that there is some actual action on this.
Okay, good. Well, and the thing, I give Governor Stitt a lot of grief, but that's my job. But I'll
Absolutely.
tell you this: if he comes out and does this, because what doesn't make sense to me is he's the most pro-life governor in the history of Oklahoma, right? That's
Right.
that's on pen and paper,
Let's be
right?
consistent.
Yes, that's exactly right. It shows no consistency to not push for this because um, taking away the quality of life of kids after they're born, I think, is just as bad as taking away their life before they are born. Wouldn't you
Absolutely.
agree?
What are we going to do to a clerk at a gas station if they knowingly sell beer to a minor?
Right.
You know,
that's,
they may come under the full force of the law.
that's
Yet,
right.
we can cut off his genitals because hey, he feels a certain way at this point in his life. And so, obviously, I think most conservatives across the state understand the importance of taking action. They understand how this is something none of us would even consider as right or acceptable in any way. And now it's incumbent upon us as the legislature to hear the voice of the people, the will of the people, and respond. So, a couple of things that I noticed that were brought up in
Okay.
this topic among the Senate body was, we're not seeing that much of it at OU. I don't care if it's one, you know,
Right.
it was noted that have been zero surgeries done below the waist. Okay, hey, that's good, but how many were done above the waist? And what kind of hormone puberty blockers were given? What kind of chemical castration was involved? So there's various ways that these things are addressed, even if it's in a counseling session, funded by OU, that is suggesting that this is okay and appropriate, and it perpetuates the lie in the mind of this young person who's developing that, hey, you might be a sex other than your biological identity. I mean, we have to look at all aspects of this, and
Yeah.
I believe take it even to OU headquarters, to OU
The Board
University,
of Regents.
how this is perpetuated on campus.
Yes, well, and that's as you know, and have seen from me, that's where I start everything because this is the OU Health Authority
Yep.
controlled by the OU Board of Regents, ultimately unified in June of 2021, and this is a public-private partnership. That's the
Yep.
other part about this. What is the definition of, if you want to talk about fascism, you want to talk about this kind of authoritarian, this is Obamacare funneled through the OU Board of Regents. And so
Right.
those 9 men have created this problem to where taxpayers now, not just federal taxpayers, but state taxpayers are funding this kind of movement. I want to address what you just said about the above waist. First of all, I would love to see that data for myself because I'm not taking anybody's word for it. And
Exactly.
and are they sharing HIPAA, privacy data to do that? I don't know, but I don't trust OU. I don't trust what they say, and
Well, you
the
think
fact,
anybody who is doing this, do you trust them in any way?
yeah,
I don't trust your integrity. I don't trust your mental sanity. And so my only objective is to shut you down if this is how you do your business, run your business. If you're doing everything great, but in the back, hey, in the back we have a few kids that we're gonna sell over the weekend. Well, are we gonna say, well, it's just two?
Yeah.
No, we better.
What? That's ridiculous. That is just ridiculous. I can't believe that Republicans are
Yeah,
making this argument. That's the other, and I have to say this. You were targeted. And you this is you're about ready to end your session. This is part of the reason I don't want the can kicked down the road, because
right,
men like you and others were targeted by the establishment Republicans that act more like Democrats, that act
right.
more like leftists, that are more concerned with money and more concerned with various different woke agenda items than protecting kids in a situation where just 5 years ago everybody would have agreed this
Yeah,
this is a barbaric practice. We would, if this were happening in Iran, if this were happening, which it is, in differing ways, but if you're mutilating kids, I don't understand what is up for debate, but this is part of the reason I don't want to see this can kick down the road, because we could lose our governor. If Joy Hoffmeister's 4 points up right now, that's what everybody's saying at least.
hmm
Yeah, we could lose. We're going to lose you. We're going to lose others who were strong, would be strong, absolute no votes against this, and we
yeah,
replace them largely with people who've been bought off by dark money, you know, and
Very-
and we're
yeah,
targeted, and
right,
targeted you. And so I have an axe to grind with those people who targeted you, and best to
yeah.
be sure when the reasons they targeted you, they're going to hear from me. But what can we do, Senator Merrick? What can we do other than I'm tweeting it out? I've got 22,000 followers on YouTube and Twitter. I'm tweeting it out. What else can we do to help you get this done and shine light on this? What else can we do for you?
you know, it. I always default and defer to the people that we still are in a republic. It may not be functioning as it should, but it will as soon as the people step up and take responsibility and stop waiting and hoping that the people, the elected officials, are going to do the right thing.
Right,
And then, big picture, stop reelecting the people who are making these kinds of bum moves.
right,
I mean, you
and
just got to stop electing them. And hey, well, I can say a lot. Hey, I will accept the will of the people. But what I feel like in cases with mine, it wasn't that people were voting for my opponent. If that was the will of the people and she had a platform that was strong and inspiring and moving, and they said, we want her
mm-hmm,
and her agenda, that's one thing. But people didn't by large vote for her. They just voted against me because of
right,
the slander attacks. That's a separate issue. You addressed it with dark money, but it ties into this whole thing because of the people that keep on being reelected. The public opinion being swayed by this dark money funneled in the background, and now we get people in office who are going to just kick the can down the road.
right.
All ties in together. I do want to bring up one other point that I made note of as we were discussing this issue, is that it was mentioned as we are pressing for an expansion of the call. So we know that with the special session, when it's called, there's a particular topic for which it's called, and it has to deal with those issues related to that topic. So we can't in this special session deal with tax reform.
Mm-hmm,
It has to deal with ARPA funding. But we can expand the call, and we can have a new call. So we can end this session and then immediately call another session to deal with tax reform. We can call another session to deal with gender reassignment. Well, and we need both of those called immediately. And we want to see the sex reassignment issue dealt with statewide today, not tomorrow, not next session, and not just with OU.
mm-hmm.
Statewide, it must end today.
That's right.
And it can be. We can call a session, and if the legislature won't do it, the governor can do it and should do it. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, if he doesn't do it, I don't want a Democrat governor, but I don't want a weak Republican either.
That's right.
So,
Well, I actually think weak Republicans are worse because they play on your, oh well, as long as they got an R in front of their name, then we should be okay. They should be fighting for us, and that's the problem that Oklahoma has right now. And I think I think people are starting to wake up to it, especially since they saw what happened to you, because I know lots of people are pissed about that. And you were targeted in a very nefarious way because of really one specific vote, and we all know what that third rail is. But I'll tell you right now, and I just have to address this since I have you here. Okay. That agenda, the school choice agenda, is directly related to this stuff. And you have the same people pushing that agenda that are stopping this vote from happening, that have stopped this vote from happening. And that's the fact of the matter. And I hope that the other conservative senators and Congress people in this state understand that that school choice is not what it says it is. I'm just going to say that. And the systemic route of this is going the let me say this very clearly. The university model is the school choice model. It's a public-private partnership. You're injecting state tax dollars into a university, and I'm into a K through 12 school that has a board, just like the Board of Regents, and a president, just like the president, and you cannot touch them. You cannot make them be transparent. You can't vote them out. And sure, you can vote with your feet. Okay. And I'm touching the third rail here. I'm probably going to get, I've been knocked off social media for saying this kind of stuff before, but you can vote with your feet, but that's all you can do. And when you vote with your feet, they're going to hand you an NDA that says you can't say anything bad about us. You know what I mean? It'll be in the contract you signed. And so if we must understand that the same people that are supporting that, and there are crossovers, but a majority of the same people that are supporting that line item that got you targeted are halting the criminalization of child maiming.
Right.
And you make whatever conclusions you want to come of that, but I'll tell you, I'm a researcher. I'm just about ready to be Dr. Unwokeable. Okay. I know I know how to look for information. Okay. Absolutely. And the targeting of you was done for that reason. And sorry, I had just to go on my soapbox there because I've seen what they did to you.
It's all so interconnected, and these issues are not isolated over here and there. They're all interconnected. The same people, like you said, that are supporting one thing, they tend to support the other. And I'm glad you brought it up because what that bill would do was create public-private partnerships with private schools. And we're seeking to do it with homeschools, and the homeschool community got so loud that they had to carve that out. But, I was conflicted because I want to challenge the corruption in public schools.
Sure, absolutely.
And all for the voucher idea for a time, and still until you start thinking about it, and it's like, but wait, as soon as you take the money, you also take the strings, you bite the hook, and there was all kinds of provisions to protect in that bill. But that's the whole point. That's the way you get it across the line. And now that it's across the line, it can be manipulated behind the scenes so that 10% of the people are going to be audited this year. Maybe in 5 years, it's 15%, and then 20%. And then we better just audit everyone.
Right.
And so, that's what I saw. Is this was going to just open a crack, and that's all the government needs is a crack. And so I couldn't tolerate that.
Well, you just can't. You can't. And this will be the last, but you can't free education from government control by injecting government money into private schools. Right. That's a misnomer. But I'll tell you this, and I want to connect something for you because I think you're going to be back, man. I hope you are. I hope you stay in the fight. God has a plan, and whatever, whether you're Christian or not, I think we're all brought here for such a time as this. But the medicalization of education has begun in the universities, and the unification of education with the medical through mental health, because these mental health beds, what I want you to understand, and I don't know if anybody's ever put it this way, and maybe you can say this to your colleagues. What they're paying for with this ARPA money, and nearly all of it is medical based. I mean, I went through the line items. There's just even under the subheadings, it's all medical based and it's all mental health, right? Well, that's how they get the kids into the office is through mental health. And these are mental health beds for what? 70 new mental health beds for what? this is the infrastructure for gender maiming, if you want to put it that way. They're building the infrastructure. And so I just want to make sure that the governor knows that you can tell them, because you have nothing else to lose, right? And that if they accept this, Oklahoma is taking the poison pill.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that if they accept this, that Oklahoma will be taking a poison pill that it may not recover from. And
Right.
so the governor must understand, the legislature must understand that there may be a lot of good things in this bill, but there's so much poison. It's like you can have a donut, right? Hey, that donut may look good, it may taste good, but if it's going to kill you, don't eat the damn donut. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's I think where we're at, and I think you see that better than most. And I think there are others up there, Shane Jett, Nathan Dom, Warren Hamilton, these guys, and some of them have gone either way on school choice, and that shows you there's dichotomy here. But
Yeah.
this bill is poison, and so, Senator, what can you? Is there anything else you can tell us about this process that we in the public need to know that maybe the establishment and the leadership don't want us to know?
I would say continue making the calls, sending the emails, putting pressure on the legislature to take action right now. And so that's going to be our push internally, is
Mm-hmm.
to have a sign up sheet for everyone that's on board with this. We need 2/3 vote to call a special session. So we're going to look at getting those signatures to call this special session to deal with both tax reform and also for this gender reassignment to end it in Oklahoma. So we're going to be pushing to call 2 more special sessions. Hey, the last thing I want to do, I'm all focused on my business and everything else I'm doing right now. I don't particularly want to go and spend the rest of my days up here in session, but
Yeah.
it's worth it. And I will gladly do it because it's what's best for the state of Oklahoma. And so, and I believe that people are willing. Yeah, does it take taxpayer money to have a special session? Yes. Is it worth it to save children? Yes. So
allocate some of the ARPA funds for it. I mean,
right.
why not? I mean, what if you're doing it in service? I mean, I don't know the rules, but it seems like you got $1.8 billion. If you're gonna do it,
Hey,
at least use it for something good.
right.
You know what I
No, but
mean?
your point about this being an infrastructure issue and setting things up, teeing things up for a much bigger agenda down the road. And I would say medical community and higher ed, man, those are 2 issue areas where we have to address, and we can very, very easily because we control the purse strings in the legislature. And
Right.
so all it takes is men of principle to stand up and say, these are the standards. If you're going to continue to accept money from the state, then we have a say in what you promote and what you teach. And
Yeah.
so, or else go make your own money and we'll sever ties. So I think that's a very easy thing, but it's going to require us in the legislature to take action. And that comes even to the Board of Regents that we approve of. You
Oh
know,
my
how
gosh, man.
how quickly we just run them through, and it ends up on the floor of the Senate, and everybody just checks the box, and suddenly we have a new Board of Regents. Did anybody take time to go vet them, to ask them the hard questions? Very few do.
Yeah, well, and I don't know how you and I need to go get lunch sometime, because
That's
I think
good.
there's a lot we could probably tell each other. And we've talked online and stuff, but I
Yeah,
was intimately involved in some of the last movements of the Board of Regents lobbying for better candidates, and that's where I really hold Governor Stitt responsible for a lot of things here,
absolutely.
because he had the option to put better candidates up there and chose, honestly, the husband of one of the last one was the husband of one of the biggest medical organizations in the state, and then there's another one that is really pushing this whole CRT in education, and I just it doesn't make any sense to me. You talk out of
Yeah,
one side of your mouth. So this is it for me. The governor has, and I've met with him. I met with him a couple of times. I met with him for an hour and a half in October 2020, and to talk a bit about all this stuff. So he's been made aware. And
yeah,
if this is it for me, either he does the right thing here,
yeah.
or I will take my considerable platform that's growing more and more every day,
Mhm.
and I will aim it right at him. I will aim it right at him. And because he has a choice here. He can choose money, he can choose connections, or he can choose to do the right thing. And even if he thinks it might cost him the election, this should be done, because there's no way in hell that we get even if he were to lose, you still have a legislature that could probably override a veto. You know what I mean? Maybe, but at least stop things. You know what I'm saying? And so
Exactly.
he needs to stand up and be as courageous as he was at the abortion bill, and understand that if he's for kids, he's got to protect them. So, Senator, go ahead.
You mentioned CRT, and it triggered a thought. You know, one of the arguments for this thing is, one of the questions that was asked by leadership was, where is this happening? Give me specific examples of where the gender reassignment is happening other than at OU. And what I thought immediately was, that's the same kind of logic and argument that the left was using with CRT. You know, we're saying we shouldn't allow this in Oklahoma, and they're saying, where's it happening? It's not happening. You know what? I don't care if it's not happening at all. We're saying it's not ever going to happen here. And that's exactly what we should be saying about the gender reassignment stuff is, you know, I don't have to show you data. It was wrong. Let's make sure that it never comes here.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Well, they aren't showing data. They aren't showing data to put it in the first place. I mean, it's just never. But I have a question here from a good colleague of mine. She's a warrior, Megan Fox, who's been doing excellent work and been on the air calling. She's in New York, by the way, and she has been helping us out, put the right pressure on the right people. And so I want to thank Megan. But she has this question: why didn't the senators ask us to do a live stream of their press conference? Fox 25 was there and didn't carry it live. They will edit it down and to use clips of the context.
I think that's a great question. I was made aware of it, you know, a couple of hours before. And so we were in session, and we went straight from session to caucus, and straight from caucus, we actually left caucus early before it was over to go make it to the press conference. And so I didn't know the details really of it, but I knew the content of what we were going to address. And so I wanted to go stand beside and along with those who are fighting for this. But no, I think it's a great question. I would have loved to have this live. I'll make sure that we give you the notice next time.
Yeah, let us have the notice, because in a follow-up of that may seem unrelated, but it isn't, and Megan will know what I'm talking about. Who were the senators that met with the governor? Can you share that information with me?
I don't
maybe
know
offline.
I don't know if I can or I won't right now, but I will say
that's
fine. And they're
friends.
Other conservative colleagues.
Yeah. Okay, good. And that's fine. And I appreciate your integrity there. You know, you got to keep, but I would appreciate this, that consider me and even Megan in New York and several others. You know, we are your conservative press. Okay.
Thank you.
And anytime that you have something like this happening, because I found out, but with just enough time that I could have made it there right after, you know, and it probably just made it right up to the Capitol steps and then had to turn around and go back home. So let us know.
That it was recorded by others in the room. And so I'll see if I can get that recording and pass it on to you.
Okay, please do that, because I know Megan and I would like to tag team this. We have been fighting for you guys, and we would like the same access, but we don't have all the cameras and the producers but we're also not going to edit what you say. You know what I mean? We're not going to Fox News 25 you, Antifa Wendy over at Fox News 25. You know, we're not going to take what you say out of context and let you speak for yourself. So yeah, keep us informed. And if there's anything you need out, you let us know, because we're going to help you guys. We want to get this stopped, and we want to hold the people accountable. Republican, Democrat, Independent, doesn't matter who they are. They need to act like people of principle. So I appreciate you, Jake, and I appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jake. All right. I'm going to see if I can get Megan in here. Megan, if you're still around, Jake, hold on. Let me get you out of there. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Megan, if you're still around, shoot up a mess. I'm going to get you. I meant to get you in here, actually. So thank you for asking that question. And of course, everybody needs to follow Megan Fox and make sure that you give her support, because she is doing the Lord's work from out there in New York, nonetheless. Let me see if I can get Megan in here. If you're still here. Yeah, I just sent you the link, Megan. Let's jump you on. So sorry. I was moving fast and he had to stop. Here we go.
I can't.
Are you pissed?
Yes. Yes. It does not even begin to describe it. I mean,
Yeah.
look. This is why Republicans lose. Let's be very, very clear, because they don't get the message out. And at some point, it feels intentional.
Yes.
You and I are the only conservative press out there that has been giving them consistently good coverage on this and getting their message out. And they have the nerve to have a press conference and not invite us. Now, I was told an hour and a half ago that this was happening. And I asked the people who told me, the senators, get me access. Let me in so I can cover your press conference, so we can get it out there and not edit the shit out of it and take all your words out of context. What did they do? Nothing. They didn't give me anything. And who did they count on? Fox 25. And what is Fox 25 doing? Did you see? What they're doing?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
They're posting still shots of the press conference, not the actual press conference, just photographs. And they're claiming that this is what was said without any video. Now, if this were Democrats, if this was pro-trans activists, they would have covered it live. They would not have edited. They would have treated it like a giant, because Democrats are better at this. Republicans are terrible. And are they doing it on purpose?
And
they have every possibility of getting it out to the public right now. We are carrying their story. We have an audience who cares about it. I had 100 people tune in 2 seconds ago when I went on to tell them, well, they've had a press conference, but unfortunately, we're not allowed to see it. Apparently, they don't want you to know what it is they're saying because they didn't give it to me. And you know damn well that Fox 25 isn't going to tell you. They're not going to tell you. I'm out of my mind. I sent Senator Jett. I sent him a note and I told him, this is why you lose. It is inexplicable to me why you did not let us carry this.
And let me tell you something, because this is what happened too. I found out from you, right? Because I've been waiting and I've been sitting here and I am literally 17 minutes from the Capitol steps. If I get in my truck right now and I drive,
you could have been there.
Yes, but what happened was I was told by you that it was happening, and so I contacted the senators and they said it's at 3, and it was literally 2:58. It was at 2:58, and I should have reached out to Jake Merrick, who I was just on with, because I'm telling you, he's a real patriot. And we'll talk behind the scenes and share some things.
So they didn't want you there. They didn't want you there.
And then he's like, "Oh, it's been pushed till 2:30 or 3:30," and that was 10 minutes late. And I told you, Megan, there's a lot of. Did I not tell you that there's
they're done
because
they're done. They did not want us there. They did not want us covering this. This is intentional. I'm sorry, but it's intentional. I asked for the access. All they would have had to do was get a staffer, point a phone or a laptop at them and click on the link that I send them for the live stream. And I would have streamed the entire thing without interruption. I would have streamed it immediately. What they just did proves to me that they want to lose this fight. They have to go straight to the people. They have to get the message out, and relying on big media to do it, they know damn well they're not going to get the right coverage. They know damn well somebody in that press conference did this on purpose. I don't know who it was. It could have been Jet, could have been Dom, could have been, I don't know. Who knows? Who is doing this? Who is sabotaging them?
Well, here's the thing. That any of them, you got to, first of all, I wasn't in contact with Jake until I got contact with him. Thankfully, he did a video on Facebook, which I posted on Twitter, right? I
saw that.
And I didn't think about Jake because he's been voted out because he was targeted by a lot of big establishment Republican dark money. Okay. And so he's termed out but I saw him, I was like, oh God, Jake, I forgot about Jake. And so he jumped on, and he wasn't one of the ones that met with the governor. Okay. He wasn't one of the ones that met with the governor. So he didn't really know what was going on. He found out an hour or two ago, but he wasn't in communication with me or with you. Right. But as soon as I asked him, I have asked Senator Jett to be on the show right now. I sent them the link. I asked Senator Dom to be on the show right now. I've asked Senator Hamilton to be on this show right now. I'm sure they're in meetings. They're doing whatever they can. I get it. But you did not let us get the message out to the people who
and I feel like I've wasted my time. I feel like I wasted my time this week for them. I wasted hours and hours and hours. I did 5-hour live streams several times a day. I mean, every day this week. I can't even think anymore. I have wasted time on them because they don't fight. They don't want to fight. If they wanted to fight, they would have let us live stream their press conference instead of relying on Fox 25. And in fact, they could have bypassed them entirely and not even invited them and just let us do it. That would have been the better choice because we would air it live in its entirety. More people would see it because nobody's watching Fox 25.
Nobody.
And now the only people who are watching it are going to see edited clips taken out of context, and they are going to sabotage this entire thing. And it's done on purpose because they know darn well who was supporting them this week. And it was you and it was me and nobody else in Oklahoma on any of those big media channels. And they're still trying to suck up to them, and they're still trying to get the media to kiss their ass. And let me tell you something, they are never going to do it. If you want your message out there, you better let us tell it. And you know what? F them all.
Yeah.
Vote them all out. Yeah. Because they're too stupid to be in power.
Well, I told you, Megan, when we first got in contact, I said there's a lot of lines here and a lot of history, and I'm not saying I told you so. I'm just saying that look, they like their control of the media. Oklahoma is not used to having any eyes on it. Who cares about Oklahoma except for football? Nobody talks about Oklahoma. And they're so used to that insulation. And I'm telling you, there's so much pork being voted out on this bill that $1.8 billion worth of infrastructure for mutilation services. And I know I'm not supposed to say that word, but this is what it is, and maiming of children. And they're putting that message in the hands of the people that they know specifically will turn this on them. And they know that very few, that the ether, right? It all just gets trickled out in different ways. And although we have big audiences between the two of us and can marshal more because we have very big friends in high places, they know
it's incredible. Listen, I got invited to go on OAN today. So tonight, and I got to go to talk about this. I'm going on at 6:20 on the tipping point. And you know what? I don't know what I'm going to say now. And I think I'm going to have to say, I'm not sure the Oklahoma Republicans want to fix this because we still don't know what happened at the press conference. I can't even tell you what they said. And you don't have, OAN doesn't have it. Did they invite OAN? Maybe they should have invited OAN. They should have invited Fox News. They should have invited, conservative press,
just
Newsmax.
Us.
Did they invite Newsmax? Did they reach out to any of it to find out, hey,
The Blaze, anybody?
If they had said to me, hey, do you know anybody that would get this out? I would have said, yeah, you know what? OAN's doing a story on this tonight. I'm sure they'd love to be there. And they have cameras and they have said, are you kidding me? This is outrageous.
Well,
and
tomorrow
they don't deserve the support, Mark. They don't.
Here's the announcement. I've been holding this. Tonight I'm going to be on with James Lindsay, and he knows this. Tomorrow night I will be on Timcast IRL.
Oh,
and
excellent!
I am going to light them up. Excellent. I'm going to light them up because this is absolutely ridiculous.
This is outrageous. Look,
and
what kind of thanks are we getting here for seriously dedicating our lives here this week to trying to help them do the right thing for Oklahoma and for kids? And we get totally shut out of a press conference that is never going to get carried. You will never see the whole thing. Oh, somebody said, somebody has it recorded. That's not good enough. Look,
you send it to me right now.
It's been an hour. How long does it take to send? It's been 2 hours. It's been 2 hours since that happened. 2 hours, and we don't have it. This is ridiculous.
Well, you go on to OAN tonight and you light them up, and I'm going to light them up tomorrow. I'm going to light them up with James tonight. And
look, the story now just became that Republicans in Oklahoma don't want this to be solved. They don't want the people to know about it. And that is the story now, that they did something They had a fake press conference that they knew wouldn't get carried on Fox 25 Live, and
That's
they
right.
kept me out of it. And so the public still has not heard their argument, and they will not hear it in time for the vote.
That's right.
Because by the time they hear it tonight on the news on Fox 25, it will be edited down to out of context clips, and the people of Oklahoma will be like, well, we don't want that.
Right.
This is so insidious, Mark. I'm
because
so sorry.
because and I'm telling you, this is all funneled through the sacred cow, which is the University of Oklahoma, right? And you know, you've been working your ass off for the past few days. I've been doing this same thing for a year and a half, fighting these people that act like your friends at one moment and then shit all over you. Honestly,
I noticed that Senator Jett has not responded to my note to him.
Right.
Nothing. He says, best we may be able to do is audio link after the fact. He sent that at 4:30. At 5:26, I sent him an hour later, still no audio. You relied on Fox 25 to carry your press conference?
Let me tell you something. I need to tell you something. I need to tell you something right now, is that by the time he sent that note, I think the press conference was done.
Oh, God.
Because I'll check.
That's my time, Eastern Standard
Right,
Time.
I know
So
that.
would have been
I know that. That's 3:30. But I'm telling you, Jake Merrick's video was after the press conference.
Okay, what time was that?
And that's what I'm trying to look at now to see if I can
see what time that was.
Well, I recorded it at 3:51, and he was outside, like, well into the parking lot.
3:51?
With my
time, it was over. It was over.
It was over. So it's
they had no intention.
They had no intention of wanting and letting me know. He said I was welcome to come. It was literally 2:58. Literally, he has my phone number. It's not even just on Twitter.
They had no intention of giving it to us, and there's a reason for that. Oklahoma need to understand that it's very broken. Your system's very broken. Your representatives are lying right to your face. They came on our programs all week long. They claimed that they wanted to fix this, and then they didn't give the public the opportunity to see their big press conference where they're demanding stuff from the governor. We still don't know what, demanding that he call a special session. But did the governor even see this press conference? Nobody's seen it. It's nowhere.
Yeah. Did the governor see? Is the governor coming out to say anything?
No.
Where's the
governor? Like, does he even know this happened?
Oh, what? I'm sure he knows. All
right, wait a minute. Hold on.
What do you got?
Nathan Dom has it on his Facebook page. Now, Senator Dom, why did you not give that to us? Where was this link?
Hold on, I'm going to pull it up.
It's on the Oklahoma State Senate. Hold on, I'll give you the link.
Oh, okay, give me the link. Yeah,
I will put it in the
chat.
but I asked for this link, you guys. I asked for this link way before it is supposedly happened. I asked for the link. Nobody gave me a damn link. Why?
It's not hard. Did you send it to me?
Yeah, I did. It's in the private chat. I have to go get ready for this OAN thing. Why don't you play the press conference and I'll watch while I'm getting ready, because I gotta go.
You light him up. You light him up today. I'll get him with James tonight, and tomorrow I'm on Timcast IRL, and
awesome.
and we're going to hit them. And I'll tell you this: everybody's watching me on my channel, go follow Megan. Everybody, vice versa, because hey, we've got partners in New York. Okay, and we're gonna keep this going. Thank you, Megan, for everything.
All right, talk to you later.
Yeah, but hey guys, sorry, I don't know. So I'm gonna pull up this press conference, okay, and we'll see what they said. Now I'm sure what they said was great, but Megan's critique here is very much something we should be one. She's gonna be on OAN tonight. I'm going to be on Timcast IRL with 1.4 million followers tomorrow. I'm going to be on tonight with James Lindsay at 6:30 Central. You won't want to miss that. And he has some things he's got to say about this too. Let me pull this up. Sorry, I can't talk and do two things at once. I'm going to get this up. There we go. And so we've got some things coming up. We're going to do our best to keep them accountable for what's going on here. Now, I hope that the governor actually does what it is that he says he's going to do. That would be great. But who knows? I don't. We'll see. Jake Merrick was solid. But here's this press conference. Let me share this. Just one second. Just one second. Just stay with me, guys. Stay with me. I know I'm moving a little slow. And I'm sure that what they're going to say here is going to be good. Let's see. Let me put this up real quick. Oh, sorry. And then we'll just react together. What do you think? Here we go. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, here they come. Let me just do it like this. Sorry, guys. There we go. Here we go. This is Senator Dom. Oh, you can't hear it, guys? I'm sorry, guys. You really can't hear it? Okay, I'm sorry. Just one second. I will fix it. I can hear it, and usually that's all that's necessary. Let me just share it again. Sorry. Can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me? No sound for me either? Just one second. Test 1, 2. Test, 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 test. You can hear me, but okay, just one second. Just let me get it. I'll reshare it. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me know if you can hear it. Should be able to hear something now. Can you hear him? I'm working on it. I'm sorry, guys. Just one second. I'm so sorry. Okay, hold on. I'm not sure what's happening here. I'm actually having a whole host of technical difficulties here for a second that are not normal. But you know, fine. Try this one more time. Just one second, guys. Thank you for sticking around. Please like, subscribe while you're waiting. I will get it going. I promise. I don't know why it's not sharing. Normally it would. So Thanks, guys. Hold on. Share, making sure everything is good. Audio tab. This should work. Thank you guys for sticking around. I'm sorry that it's... Can you hear now? Can you hear him talking? Can you hear him? Oh my gosh. Hold on just one moment. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. Just 1 second. Sound. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get it. There's no reason why this shouldn't be sharing. Can you hear him now? Can you hear it now? Can you hear it now?
Stop this genital mutilation of children. We've had pieces of legislation in the House and the Senate for numerous years that would put a stop to this barbaric practice, and those bills have not been allowed to be granted a hearing.
I'm literally putting my headphones on my microphone so you can hear it. So just 1 second. I'm putting my headphones on the microphone so you can hear it. Let me go back so you can hear the whole press conference.
Thank you all, everybody recording, everybody good? Appreciate the media coming out today, this afternoon. Several of us, not just legislators, but pastors, doctors, community leaders, have been talking for quite a while about what is taking place at the OU Children's Hospital. As many of you have probably heard, they have been providing what is called gender-affirming care, whether that's surgeries or puberty blockers. This is taking place in the state of Oklahoma. And so we wanted to not just give some background on that, but talk about what we hope to
Hold on, I'll try to turn up
immediately for the benefit of the people of Oklahoma. So we're going currently for the purpose of distributing the ARPA funds. However, this is not something that has just recently come to light with what is taking place at OU. For years, we in the Oklahoma legislature have had the opportunity to stop this genital mutilation of children. We've had pieces of legislation both in the House and the Senate for numerous years that would put a stop to this barbaric practice. And those bills have not been allowed to be granted a hearing. For years, we have had the opportunity to actually do tax relief for the people of Oklahoma, as we have seen record increases in tax revenues come into the state, and we have not moved on that. But now we find ourselves in the position where we've been called in to a special session. Legislative leaders have called us into the special session for the purpose of forking out almost $2 billion to grow government, to special interest groups, and to eventually and inevitably explode inflation further than what the people of Oklahoma are currently experiencing. So those of us up here believe that if we can be called in to dole out that money, we also could be called in to give actual relief to the people of Oklahoma, to Oklahoma families that are experiencing the massive effects of inflation, which comes from and stems from government spending, rather than just inflating that even further, causing that to increase even more by spending more government money, we could do true immediate tax relief, whether that's in the form of eliminating the grocery tax or lowering the state income tax or some combination. We could have immediate relief for the people of Oklahoma, but that's not what this special session has been focused upon. In regards to what's taking place at OU with children, with whether it's puberty blockers or surgeries, there has been a proposal that would stop it in OU, but there's no emergency effect put upon that bill, so it will go into effect 90 days after the passing of that bill. We believe that we should have an immediate statewide prohibition on these surgeries, on these puberty blockers, on what is being done to these children. We believe we have an obligation to protect the children of our state, those under 18. So what we are proposing, what we are going to do is tomorrow we will be offering all of the members of the legislature, including leadership, the opportunity to sign on to an expansion of the current special session, to expand the call of special session to include immediate tax relief for Oklahoma families, as well as a statewide ban and prohibition on the transitioning of minors. We're going to be offering both of those options to the members of the legislature, and we encourage them to join us. When the legislative leadership decided to make the special call for the special session, within 24 hours, they had enough signatures to be able to say, yes, we are going to be distributing this almost $2 billion of taxpayer funds to other governmental entities. So if there is the desire to actually accomplish something immediately for the people of Oklahoma, we have that opportunity tomorrow. So that's why we are going to be offering that chance for them to expand the call. We also will call upon the governor. If the legislature is not willing to bring themselves in to accomplish these two goals, we'll call upon Governor Stitt to call us into special session for those two purposes, providing immediate relief to Oklahoma families and to have a statewide ban on transitioning of minors. We've heard the governor's call for these things, but more importantly, we've heard the voice of the people. This is what the people of Oklahoma want. This is what we serve the people in trying to accomplish for them. And that's why we're standing here today. We hear your voice. We are going to continue to fight for true tax reform, true relief, so that you do not have to continue to spend these exorbitant prices because of inflation. We are not going to contribute to that inflation. We are going to fight for you. We're going to fight for your children, for the children of this state, to prohibit the sterilization, this mutilation of their bodies. That's what we're here for today. We ask all of our legislative colleagues to join us in expanding that call, and we ask Governor Stitt to support this as well, making his own call for a special session if the legislative body is not willing to do so. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Representative Wendy Stearman, who's going to speak on behalf of the House as well. Representative Stearman. Thanks.
Thank you, and thank you all for being here. We in the Oklahoma legislature agree wholeheartedly with Governor Stitt that Oklahomans need tax relief right now. We agree completely that reducing and eliminating taxes is a correct and proper function of government. And we agree completely that eliminating Oklahoma's grocery tax is a good start. I want to thank my colleagues who are here standing with me and for standing up for innocent life in Oklahoma. We are deeply concerned about the medical mutilation of children in our state. We are further alarmed to see the legislature considering House Bill 1007, which extends taxpayer dollars during record deficits and record inflation, no less, to the OU hospital, which blatantly admits performing sexual reassignment on children. This is simply intolerable and must end immediately. Our recent phone calls, emails, and conversations with citizens around the state are evidence that the people of Oklahoma do not support the sex change procedures on children. Oklahomans repeatedly express their predominantly conservative moral values. Thank you for speaking up, for contacting your legislators. Keep it up. We, the members of the Oklahoma House and Senate, urge Governor Stitt to call an additional special session to end the genital mutilation of children in Oklahoma. End it outright. Members have filed bills in both chambers of the legislature to outlaw performing this procedure on children. Sex change surgeries, chemical castration, double mastectomies, and the like. I am a mother. No sane person, especially parents who understand the emotional development of children, could reasonably believe that children are equipped with the maturity to authorize permanent and life-altering destruction on their own sexual function and nature. No sane society would permit children who are not yet considered mature enough to drink or smoke or purchase firearms or even nasal decongestants or spray paint to authorize the debilitating destruction of their own reproductive selves for the rest of their lives. We in the Oklahoma legislature are requesting that Governor Stitt add, in addition to the welcome tax relief measures, a special session to outlaw the sexual mutilation of children in Oklahoma. Thank you.
Session. We can amend. We can amend our current special session call with 2/3, or Governor Stitt can call us into a special session for the purpose of that. So we will tomorrow.
Just for clarification, HB 107 already has language in there that when prohibited funding go to OU children, they stop. What is that? Do y'all not support that?
That will stop it at OU. It will not stop at St.
Yeah, they're off microphone. Okay. Okay, hold on. Just let me turn this off. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for sticking around through that. I MacGyvered it. I don't know why it wasn't working, but if for those of you who may have popped in, I was literally having to take my headphones and put them on my microphone in order for anybody to hear the press conference. That usually works normally all the time. Like all I have to do is hit a button, but it wasn't working this time. So we figured it out. I didn't get to hear as much of it as you did, but I'll say this. Yeah, thank God someone recorded it. Yeah, thanks Megan for doing that. Oh, brother, why didn't they even just send us the Facebook link? They all, I'm close with these people on Facebook. Why didn't they just send it out? And Megan, if they know you're going on OAN tonight, they're going to try to talk you out of bashing them. But I didn't hear anything in there that really talked about a criminal penalty for this. Banning it is not a criminal penalty. If it does not have an enforcement arm, and honestly, I'm just really kind of pissed that they're talking about taxes. You know, Megan asks, why didn't I honestly couldn't hear? Why didn't they say they would vote no on funding of the three of three don't get what they want? Right. Yeah. Well, they are voting on that. They are all, this is the thing. And this is what I was trying to tell Megan the other day. They know they can vote no and this will still pass. So that just like happens in the National Congress, right? There are people that know that if they vote, that they can be safe and vote no on something that will save them in their district, and the leadership will do that for them. You get what I'm saying? There, yeah. Yes, courage is a habit of saying they're at least saying the right things, but yes, didn't hear any penalties. No. And I even asked Jake Merrick about that, and he didn't say anything about a criminal penalty. And I'm going to tell you right now, if there's not a criminal penalty attached to this, then it's no good. It's no good. Because it's the doctors who will do this. And what you have to understand is that the mental health beds are going to funnel the kids to the doctors. And the doctors can do it in their own establishments. This is what a public-private partnership looks like. You have a state-funded now 70-bed expansion, right? A 70-bed expansion. They're going to funnel the kids from the schools through the counselors, like Courage is a Habit was saying, through ASCA, okay? Send them into the mental health facility, right? Prep them for surgery, send them across the street to the two doctors that I know do this in Oklahoma City, which you will be finding out soon, okay? And then send them back over to recover. You get it? This is a public-private partnership. This is socialized medicine. I find it so great that most of these Republicans, even the ones that were standing up there at this point, are so concerned about getting government out of schools, you know, but have no problem dumping government right into medicine in this way. And I know that may not make much sense, but when they allowed OU to take over this medical system, when they allowed that, okay, what they did is they started injecting state money into this practice. They started injecting state money into this practice. And I'm sorry, I've got to plug in my computer. Just 1 second. Man, I need a production team. Hey, let me take this moment. Donate. Super chats are open. If you support what I'm doing, go to YouTube and help me afford my own production team. You can, for those of you who may not be familiar, you can do super chats. I'll read them on the air. You can do super likes and super stamps, I guess now they have. So if you support what I'm doing, that would be very helpful. But again, yes, this is a public-private partnership, and the state is now funding these surgeries, and they're not prepared at all to offer a criminal penalty. And I think that's why, I really do think that is why they didn't want me and Megan there. That's why. According to Jake Merrick, he knew an hour and a half. And I wasn't in direct contact with Jake. I haven't been talking to Jake as much as I've been talking to some of these other senators, right? I didn't get in contact with Jake until after when I saw his video on Facebook. But he told me he knew an hour and a half before. So they didn't want me there for sure. You know, I don't, Megan said she found out an hour and a half before. So I don't know, but they wouldn't send her a link. So this is all performative opposition. I want to give these guys the benefit of the doubt. And I will say this, Jake Merrick wasn't in one of the conservative senators in the meeting with the governor either. And as he says, he's not on the A team, right? And he was one of the ones that was targeted for removal by the school choice lobby, to be honest. So it's really, really, hold on just 1 second. Well, I hope that Megan, I hope you really give it to him. Give it to him in a way that makes it sure they know that everybody knows what's going on here. So if we don't do something, Oklahoma, if we don't do something about this, if we don't hold their feet to the fire, we've got a big problem. You know, and I've been shopping, going on OWN and Newsmax and all kinds of different places and haven't gotten a invite. But so if you want to hear me, why don't you all email Newsmax and email OWN and or did the Daily Wire and all of them. But watch Megan there tonight. And I have no idea, honestly, what OWN is. So, I mean, I know what OWN is, but in terms of OWN Plus and OWN, I know that it's been taken off of platforms. I think it's been taken off of YouTube. So this will that audience will be a very specific audience. I know that. So I hope that she will share with us what she says. But I'm gonna be on with James Lindsay tonight at 6:30 Central Standard Time. Okay, Central Standard Time, and James was here when a lot of this was getting set up by the very same people who honestly refused to share the links with us. So join me for that. I don't think you'll want to miss that. That will be live. And tomorrow is going to be an interesting day. But what I'm guessing has happened here is that all of this has been planned out now. and there may be some show speeches, but I don't anticipate all of this taking very long. Because what they want here more than anything, well, you have to understand what they want here more than anything is to pass all of that money, because this is not even about the specific surgeries happening. What this is about setting up an infrastructure so they can make money off of it 5 years from now. And I've been telling you that this state is trending blue for lots of different reasons. And most of it is because of a lot of what Megan said today. So, and a lot of it is just money. It's a lot of money. And there has, and I'm just going to be honest about this. There's been a concerted effort to keep me out of platforms by people I know, by people who've reported it to me, to keep me off platforms that might reach a wider audience, especially since I went from 1,000 followers to 23,000 followers on YouTube. So, what are we asking to post right now in the chat here? Tell her to post it. Well, we're talking about her own interview. Yeah, I would like to see it. I would like to see it. So, and I hope it's the same message. Megan's good. She's a pro, so we'll see. For those of you in Oklahoma, we're going to be living this. I had a stream with Billboard Chris this afternoon, and he explained how things were in Canada and how they are in Washington and Boston, right? That's where we're headed right now. Okay? That's where we're headed right now. 5 to 10 years, progressivism progresses, all right? And we need desperately to hold their feet to the fire. And I'm really concerned that the tentacles of the media on this issue go much deeper than we think. And that's why you've got to support people like me. Honestly, I'm just gonna make the hard sell, guys. You got to literally support people like me, because when we're gone, you'll have nobody. I'm the only person on the ground doing this to the level that I'm doing it. I broke this story. Literally. So, it was retweeted twice by libs of TikTok, and everybody started panicking. And then there's just been a concerted effort to control. And we have performative opposition here, guys. And it's in very strange places. It's in very, very strange places. So please like, subscribe, share the video. And, hit me up on super chats. Hit me up on the super stamps, I think is what they're called. And I'm already on Rumble. Follow me on Rumble. Unwokable Pod on Rumble. I'm there. Everything I post here goes to there. So I have actually 2 kind of mirrored channels on Rumble that are supposed to be doing this, that are supposed to be posting all the stuff that I post here. So, and follow me on Twitter. Let's watch tonight when James comes on. He's going to have very interesting things to say. And if you have any more questions, shoot me a DM on Twitter or shoot me on Facebook. DMs. Oh, thank you, Frosted Sleet. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. And Megan, yes. Megan, go light him up on OWN. Go light him up. And, Megan has a lot of a good support and a lot of a good network. And she's been doing a lot to help. Okay. But I did tell her that this kind of thing was going to happen. I told her, and she just experienced it. And that's why she's super pissed. And she should be super pissed, just like I've been super pissed for that same thing happening over the last 2 years. Same thing happening over the last 2 years. So and I thank you, Frosted Sleet. I really, really appreciate it. And let me just throw up courage is a habit. Hey, Alvin, thanks for all you do. Please keep people keep saying, how have we been asleep? Please have, or excuse me, people have been saying they are not willing to do the hard work, arduous, thankless that Mark has done. Oh, I didn't know this was about me. Has done to break stories like this. Thank you, Alvin. I really appreciate that. I didn't know it was about me before I started reading it. I just wanted to throw up what you had said. So, yes, thanks for the support. Really appreciate it. And it's been hard. And I've been trying to, Melinda, I've been trying to get on Glenn Beck. I've been in contact with the Blaze. I've been in contact with Chad at the Blaze. These are people that know me and talk to me behind the scenes. So this is what I ask all of you guys. Start an email. Megan can get on these shows. She's a pro. Get me on these shows. I'm on the ground. Okay? Get me on the shows. I'm on the ground. And I love Megan, but she's already out there. We need more of us. I'm the only one here in Oklahoma doing this. So I've tried to get a hold of Glenn. I've talked to producers at Chad Prather's show. And I have contacts with all these people, and I have PR guys throwing stuff out to them. So, but what I am doing is tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, 7 p.m. Central. You ready for this? I will be on Timcast IRL. So find me there. That will be my first big one. And I know Tim is no fan of spineless Republicans. No fan of spineless Republicans. And so we're going to go after him. But you got to help share that video too, and go like and subscribe to my channel. But I've got to get off here and try to sustain myself before my much anticipated live stream with James tonight. So James Lindsay on 6:30 Central. Let me know and make sure you stop by for that and watch what Megan does on OWN. I'll be able to. I really want to be able to hear what she does and what she says on that. So I hope she sticks to what she said. That'd be good. Thanks, Megan, for everything. Thanks everybody for everything. Thank you for the support, and I will see you soon. Okay, guys. 6:30, an hour and 10 minutes. James Lindsay. Here we go.